Back to Football Club Barcelona. So we have had no games off camera, well, one game off camera, and the new patch has been released. So this is going to be the first game we've seen on the new patch in this Real Madrid game here. So today's episode, we're going to play the semi-final, the Spanish Super Cup, and then the final if we get there. But there's no guarantees of that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays on the new patch. I've only watched one game. I watched the Huesca game. I did not watch any of the friendlies, and I've already made one change based off of it. It's the left-hand side, the wing-back support guy becomes, and then Fati becomes the inverted winger attack. The attack, he has to have an attack duty for where he positions himself in possession, especially now by the looks of it. So that's going to be the big change for us there. Adeyemi starts striker only because Erling Haaland picked up an injury, unfortunately, the last game. If it was a long-term one, like months, I would have considered bringing a striker in because I don't know if Patson Daka would do it in the Champions League when we need him to against the English teams that are going to be very strong. So we have a lot of money to spend if we want to. Obviously, the club's in a bad financial situation beforehand, but we're all right. Like, we could easily maneuver these waters that we've got here. Like, it's all right. We can get away with this. I put clubs in worse situations before for manager, let's put it that way. So Tottenham are an ambitious club on manager because they were interested in signing Pedri, of all players. So very ambitious. I have no idea why he'd want to go play for them instead of us when we're going for league titles and Champions Leagues, but it's up to him, I suppose, if he wants to go. Well, it's not up to him, actually. He's not going anywhere, so it doesn't really matter what he thinks. It doesn't matter what you think. No. Yeah, so we're gonna go into today and play against Real Madrid, who are, I don't even know what they are now. Well, they're still the best team in Madrid, but actually we're Getafe. Getafe's near Madrid. Oh, they're down there as well. No, they're still there, but absolutely disgraceful from them, and Atletico are even worse. Is the manager still Simeone? Oh my goodness. He's under pressure though. Yeah, we were actually pretty bad defensively against Huesca, if I'm honest. We conceded only to a penalty, but they had they had one clear-cut chance they actually created that was slightly concerning, but generally we were decent, controlled the game really well. Average possession was good as well. That's the team. Let's get into the game. Assistant manager says, media comment, and we're going to be underway here. Early highlight here, I think, for Barcelona. I'm going to slow this down a touch, actually, just so we're seeing the development of the movements pretty good here. So guys got up to support duty. We had like 61% possession, didn't create any chances at all in the first half with him as inverted winger support and him as wing back defend. So that's where the change came from. I was looking at the left-hand side, they just weren't really moving much. And yeah, so I did put him to winger attack and support initially, but he does go wide and cross it a little too much on that for my liking. Although he positions himself slightly better at times. That should have been a goal. And he does then take it on the outside as well, but I think we'll go inverted winger attack for now and see how that plays in the early stages here. So Real Madrid are going to pass up from the back against us. We're going to close them down. They get out to Alaba. And they're going to play through us potentially here. Oh no, Ndombele says no thank you. I'll have that. Lazari plays it to Lacroix. Plays it across to Eric Garcia. Eric Garcia to Gaia. Gaia to potentially somebody. Hopefully Pedri gets onto it. Pedri cuts back, Ansu Fati, Gaia. It's just good football on the left-hand side. Cross, Adeyemi, Fati should have been a goal. The problem with them being so bad is that we can't now test the tactic against a good team to open the Champions League, and it could be too late if we're adjusting away to one of the English teams, and all of a sudden we're 3-0 down from the first leg. Do you know what I mean? So it's really hard to test, to tweak, because, I mean, these teams are all terrible, including Real Madrid. I mean, they nearly scored there, but we're not going to get challenged often enough. We might lose the odd game, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if we'll know enough information about why we're not winning and creating the kind of football we want playing against teams that are so bad. This highlight is still going. And by the way, I started talking over it late, and it's still the same one. Benzema, just end the highlight. I don't even care if they score at this point, just end the highlight. There we go. End the highlight. We are on extent, it's still going. There we go, it's over. Reject the ball, Casemiro has it. We tried to double press him, and oh dear, that's not good. Oof. Yeah, so I'm not quite right about this side over here at the moment. I change Fati to a winger attack. Free kick for Real Madrid, they whip it in. Benzema's going to get to it. He plays it across to, oh no, Ansu Fati's gone diving in, and it just looked like it was a penalty animation. It just looked like it. Hopefully it's given as not as one, because it shouldn't be. It looked like he tackled and won the ball. But You're playing Real Madrid, and Real Madrid get all the decisions going their way, don't they? As usual. In Spain, Benzema's a penalty, 2-0 to Real Madrid, and we are in a bit of trouble. Well, it could be a one-game episode here, to be honest. Yeah, terrible. Get out, lads. Get out there and do something different. This has just been absolutely shocking. Calling for the 4-4-2 at this point, and Dombelli's going to have to come off. Galeno can go on the left. Ansu Fati can go up front, and we'll go with that. Free kick for Madrid, they whip it in. It's going to be clear. Ansu Fati, hopefully on the counter, is that Gavi, play it early. Play it early. Daka, Fati got up. He hasn't played it. He had about 5 opportunities to play that. Gaia gets it, whips it, hopefully across goal, does. Cleared. Lazari gets back onto it on the right-hand side. Oh, it's just not looking good. Nothing's really opening up. Well, that's open, but we didn't. Now we get it to Gaia when he's now marked. But he beats his man, whips it in. Ansu Fati, and it's wide. It just goes to show that in a one-off knockout game, we are still ripe for the taking if we don't play brilliantly. Only 53% possession in that game too, although that's not the only thing to look at, but just something to know. That wasn't good. That really wasn't good at all. I'm not sure now about this anymore. Maybe we should put it back to support because it changes what Pedri does and how he gets in. That's what it affects. Maybe that could be the combination there, but that's not good. I don't like that at all. And Guy, does he need to go impose himself on the opposition a little more? Is this where we need to tweak it a little bit more to the match engine for the left back because he's just not doing anything ever. Like the most he was involved in that game was at the end we went to 4-4-2 and it was like an all-out attack tactic just to get a goal, and then he was more involved. So I don't know. It's a tough one with this left-hand side. I don't think you can have your Abidal role and your Dani Alves role have the same settings. So if he goes to an attack duty, he'd have to be complete back attack because that would, they definitely were not symmetrical, and Abidal was more narrow anyway. So is there a way to put him? You can go, okay, if you're going to be behind the ball, the left back, if he's going to be behind the ball and being there to help build the attack from playing out, and then also when the ball goes to the final third, be a retain option and not to be the overlapping player, unless the situation completely dictates, which is going to be rare. If he's going to do that kind of role, he needs to get on the ball and be involved, and he's not doing that. So it's very frustrating. And the only way I can sort of think is to play him like an inverted wing back, but then put a CDM there because that would stop him coming inside as much. But then we'd lose a defensive shape. So you plug one hole, another one appears, is what that would be, I think. So that's not really the solution. So a support duty at the moment, of all the support duties, I don't like many of them. So I'm thinking wing back attack on sit narrower. Make sure he's taking not risky passes, play it safe when you get on the ball, that sort of stuff. That's probably the best we could do. And then on this side, habit. So he is looking to position himself even higher. See how that looks for the next game. But so let's do it. Let's just do the Alaves game in this episode because why not? We've already looked at the tweaks. Let's see how that plays out. I'll see in a second for the Alaves game. Welcome back. So let's get into the game today then. A couple of changes. Can play Daka up front instead of Adiemi. That experiment has failed, obviously. Hector Bellerin comes in for the suspended Lazari. Oh, and Guardiola comes in at centre back for Eric Garcia because our centre backs were a disgrace in the last game. Just manager says I expect better, and I agree. I'll watch this one on key highlights, I think, because I just want to see it play out over a game and just see how it sort of plays in more like a stats in terms of like, can we win? What are the stats like? Expected goals, possession, passes completed, and just see how it sort of plays almost like a test rather than actually looking at the movements in this instance. Because it's the same, really. It's about doing a support again, but just with get further forward on, he stays the same and he goes to wing back attack on sit narrower. So it'd be interesting to see whether we still create enough chances with the way things currently are. I'll look at it closer in future videos. I don't like to do too much testing off camera because then you don't see it with me. So I try to keep it, or at least this season, I've tried to just keep it the same and they go through it. Like it's time for everybody to dig in, give everything you've got left. Yeah, it's not been a great first half, if I'm honest. Currently got both wing backs on wing back attack, one's on stay wider, one's on sit narrower. We're not going to get challenged often enough. We might lose the odd game, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if we'll know enough information about why we're not winning and creating the kind of football we want, playing against teams that are so bad. Our possession has gone through the roof, by the way, from my tweaks I've been doing. This is the first highlight, incidentally, in ages. You've missed 2 subs there. Martins and Galeno come on for the 2 players in those positions. And it's 1-0 to Alaves. Onto our 4-4-2 tactic, try and get a goal back. Now we need to... I mean, our undefeated streak's on the line here. Our undefeated season could be over if we lose this, and it looks like we're going to. We're just not creating anything. It's just unreal. Corner, last minute, guy whips it in, it's away. Hector Bellerin gets onto it, plays it across, it's cleared. Galeno recovers, gives it to nobody, and that's going to probably be it. No, oh, it's a straight red. No, that's the highlight then, isn't it? I don't believe this. Absolutely shocking episode here on the channel. A defeat to Madrid, a defeat to Alaves. They've undefeated the whole season until now. The updates come in and it has not reacted well to our tactic. Well, our tactic has not reacted well to the new patch. That's really, really annoying. There you go, the new patch, and we've got 2-1 win, 2-0 defeat, 1-0 defeat. Not creating enough chances. Need to go back to the drawing board. The striker doesn't get involved enough. The left-hand side is just non-existent. And starting to question how much Erling Haaland maybe was bailing out the tactic a little bit, although it was still doing it right last season. So, I don't know. I'm annoyed though, that should not have happened. And if we don't fix this, I would put us at 0% chance of winning the Champions League. 0%. We're not going to beat any good team over 2 legs, especially away from home. We could end up getting trounced as well. So we're going to come back for the Espanyol game, for the derby, and then the Real Betis game in February here. 2 away games. That's normally a tough game away from home on Foot Manager against them. For some reason, I'm not entirely sure why, but we'll come back for those 2. And then probably the game after that will be the Real Madrid game in a one-off episode probably. But we'll do that. I'll only play a couple of games off camera, do some small tweaks. Hopefully we can come back and have a more positive outcome, because that was terrible. But hope you enjoyed it. Those of you that enjoy my misery on the channel, that's it's good for you. But yeah, disappointed, really annoyed about that. To lose the cup and then get our undefeated streak gone. That's going to do it. Our season continues. We keep going, trying to find solutions. We're going to get there eventually, but the patch is going to make sure that we have to do more tweaks. Thanks for watching.